So, hey, it's Kina Knisley. This is Real Talk about real estate. And today I have an amazing agent from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I have Denise Sartor. So, Denise, how is the market in Minneapolis?
The market is still a seller's market in Minneapolis and its suburbs. So we have the main area of Minneapolis, that would be considered the first ring, the city and the small area around it. And that's a little slower than the suburb market. So the Twin Cities market or the Hennepin County market would be about a month and a half of inventory, selling about 99% of the price, the list price. About 24 days on market, and the average price is about $392,000.
Wow. So you can get a single family home for $392,000.
Yep. That's the median price. So you can go lower, you can go higher.
So what kind of home is that? Is that like your standard 1,500 square feet on a 5,000 square foot lot, or what does that get?
Yeah, it would be right in that ballpark. Probably a 3-bedroom home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car plus. In our metro area, a lot of houses either only have a 1-stall garage still because they were built so long ago, or a detached garage. When you get out in the suburbs, you get a little bit more for your money. You get a little bit more of a current home. The inventory is lower there. It's only 1.23 months.
Wow.
And very similar stats though, about 99% of sales price on the market, 21 days. And the price there is going to be $489,900.
Okay, so it gets a little higher out in the suburbs just because they're newer, or you get more space.
Almost, yeah. You get more. You get a bigger lot. You get a bigger house, a little bigger house, a little more ideal neighborhoods. I would say more attractive neighborhoods that people want to live in.
Yeah. So here in Oahu, our average last month was 1,185. That is because we normally hang at about 1,1 as our average, but we had a $65 million closing. Not me. Another agent, which skewed our numbers, of course, because when you the highest sold property on Oahu, 65.
Right.
Of course, I'm wondering, does it get 2.5% on that? I don't know.
Right.
Feels like I'm asking, how much money did you make?
Yes, right.
I know. So it's a little crazy. And then I'm like, part of me is like, why would you buy one property at 65 million and not 6 properties at 10 million? And
right.
The other one's out. But that's just how I think. But it must be nice to just buy one at 65 million. I don't know.
Exactly. How many days on market was that? Do you remember?
It did sit for a while. I think it may have even been a pocket listing. They didn't disclose who purchased it, all that kind of,
Sure.
Nobody wants to wave the flag of, I got $65 million in my pocket. They just don't. It's too risky today, right? But yeah. Absolutely. So no, I've only been to Minneapolis, I guess once when I was younger. And I'm actually going to meet a guy there, but that's a long story. We're not going to talk about that on YouTube. And then I did go with my husband, who's not the guy I went to go meet when I was younger. We went for a conference, but I know you have the Mall of America, but what else? And if you haven't been to the Mall of America, what's actually at the Mall of America? It's been a few years since I've been there.
I haven't been out there either. It might have been a couple of years since I've been there. So there's plenty of other shopping without going to the Mall of America, and
amusement park in the middle.
But it attracts a lot of people. And one thing a lot of people don't realize about Minnesota is we don't have clothing tax. So if you come here, come with an empty suitcase, because you can save a lot of money, especially if you're buying, significant amounts of clothing items. You're not going to have to pay sales tax on that.
So just clothing you can buy. So you can go get your Lulus and save a few bucks, since they're already expensive for, pants you only wear at home. At least I only wear them at home. Okay, I wear them on the airplane too, but they're comfy.
Right.
But yeah, so what else is there? What kind of activities bring people to Minneapolis?
Well, we're called the land of 10,000 lakes. And so we have a lot of lakes in our metro area. We also have the Mississippi River running through the state. So there's a lot of water everywhere. So there's a lot of water activities, water sports. We definitely have the 4 seasons of the year. We're probably most famously known for winter, because everybody thinks we're crazy to live here. And it does get a little challenging in the winter time, but there's so many things to do, skiing, skating, ice fishing in the winter time. if we get enough snow. This year we didn't. Some areas got more snow than Minnesota did, so it's kind of crazy. But there's a lot of culture here. There's a lot of food scene. There's some wonderful breweries and wineries, distilleries. The wineries are pretty, but they're not. It's not very good wine. But they're lovely.
So I did not realize you could ski in Minnesota. What are your ski destinations?
Yeah, we have Lutzen's probably our biggest. There's Lutzen, and they're up in northern Minnesota, so closer to the Canadian border. But it's decent skiing up there. We also have a lot of cross country skiing. Like there's a park, like maybe a mile from my house, that has a whole cross country. So a lot of parks, a lot of water. A lot of boating, lots of chains of lakes where we go from restaurant to restaurant in a boat, and
Fun.
sandbars. You park your pontoon or boat on a sandbar and go swimming, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. And we look forward to our summers and really appreciate our summers because they're too short and they are lovely.
Yeah, so that sounds great. So now for industry, why are people moving to Minnesota? Why are they moving there?
Yeah, we have a lot of industry here. I think people don't realize that. We have 3M is headquartered here. We have
the sticky note people, right?
Yeah, the sticky notes. Yeah, so they do have a big business. We have General Mills. We have Honeywell. I'm trying to think some of the other ones. We have some big, and I just got a call from a gentleman that's moving from Seattle for Verizon Wireless. So there's, lots of people coming for different types. The affordability to live here, as you know, we talked about the prices of homes. Affordability is really nice. Good quality of living. We always rank at one of the top states for quality of living because it's affordable, it's clean. Everybody always says Minneapolis is so clean.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned the restaurant scene. So what's your favorite restaurant?
I don't know if I could pick one because I really like to change up and do different ones. I eat a lot at the pickleball place because I play pickleball, and luckily they have really good food there. So there's a place that it's got the tap wall where you can pour your own beer and wine and drinks, and then they have wonderful food, and it's just a great community. So
how fun though to be pickleball and be able to then hang out and with your friends. That's kind of fun. Our pickleball court here is outside. it's on the main road down the street, but yeah, so I guess you could go to a bar afterwards, but no.
Yeah, pickleball is blown up here. We got courts outside, of course, for the summertime, and then indoor ones. Like there's 5 major facilities within 10 minutes of me to go play indoors. So it's quite the thing. Yeah.
It seems to be everywhere because I just talked to Cynthia from, oh my gosh, I just talked to her yesterday. And she was telling me their pickleball was big there too. So it just seems to be something. I need to go try it. My Peloton is right behind me, but now I have this beautiful background that you can't see myself. So I'm lucky if I have time to jump on the Peloton, but and it gets a little warm here to be outside sweating. So,
right.
But yeah, but no, so anything else you want to share about your great city and why people would want to live there?
The school systems are great as well. So that's one thing that we pride ourselves in Minnesota. So the school systems are excellent. And in fact, we have a no tuition program. If people make under $80,000, they can go to college for free.
Now, do they need to be a resident and own a home there?
Yeah, there are certain stipulations and qualifications, but my son just qualified for it. So pretty excited. At 26, he's going back to school and not having to pay any tuition. So
wow, so it's his income, not yours, or
yeah, because he's independent now. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great marketing tool that they can get a free education. Move there, because man, we have 5 children, so college. But wow, that is a great benefit. So I didn't know that. Maybe I don't want to go back to school. I'm done. So. But wow. Well, anything else that's very cool about being there?
We have a lot of tourists tourists and touristy areas, and so it's just a really great diverse area. You can go, there's some small cities that have tons of character, and we've got the large city, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and a lot of other cities that offer everything a big city would want to, culture and theater and music and everything. So it's really
now, because of course I only went to Mall of America when I was there. So,
yeah, that's not a great example of what Minnesota's about.
St. Paul's Cathedral. It was beautiful, just because I felt like I needed to see it. It was beautiful. There was a funeral going on while I was there, so really quiet. But it was gorgeous. So, but thank you so much for joining me. This is me. So if you ever have anybody moving to Minneapolis or you're moving there, you want to invest. Oh, we didn't talk about that. How is investing there? Is it a good place to maybe buy a short-term rental?
It is. Actually, I bought one last year and got it up and rolling, and it is doing really well. It's a mid-century modern. I kept it like a trip in time. And it's in one of our suburbs called Fridley. And people thought I was crazy because most of the Airbnbs here are lake properties or cabins. And so a lot of people thought I was crazy on doing that, but it's going really well. And it's just a great place for families to come and spread out and hang out. And I also have a midterm here. So it's a great place to do investment properties as well. There's a lot of opportunities.
And your cap rate's good. So your cash flow is good. And I'm at home. My dogs are barking. They tend to always bark when I'm on one of these. That's okay.
Right.
So it's, can you cash flow very well and get the,
absolutely.
Most investors want 6 to 7.5. We don't come close here.
Not so much with the long-term renters, but short-term and midterm, there's money to be made. And one of the biggest opportunities is owner-occupied duplexes or fourplexes. Is a great opportunity.
Yeah, because you can still swing those with a regular conventional loan. You don't have to go on the commercial side. I know, I love those fourplexes.
Yep. And they changed it to like 5% down for, if it's owner occupied. So it's a great opportunity.
It is. So so if you need information about buying an investment there, or if you'd like to move there, reach out. I can connect you. Thank you so much, Denise. This has been great. I love learning about all these other cities. And then what I missed when I have visited, so now I need to go back. But been Kina Knisley with Real Talk About Real Estate, and I will see you on the next one.